Welcome to Jets This Week. I'm Gary Lawless of the Winnipeg Free Press. My colleague Tim Campbell, esteemed hockey writer for the Winnipeg Free Press. Well, the Jets regular season begins this week. They'll play the Arizona Coyotes Thursday night in beautiful downtown Glendale. Okay. And, well, it's not really a beautiful place. It's got a great rink, but anyways, it's no Winnipeg. It's the start of the season, and I know Tim loves these questions, so we'll start with this. Do the Winnipeg Jets make the playoffs?
I don't have the answer for that, Gary, but I would put their odds at about maybe 25-75, just based on how good the Central Division is, how tough the Western Conference is. Their track record against those teams has not been great, and those teams have improved, some of them by a lot in the offseason, others in smaller ways, and the Jets have made adjustments, and maybe they believe their coaching staff is better with the leadership of Paul Maurice, and they've made some tweaks to their lineup. They have some more experience. They look like they might have a bona fide second line, so it's not all negatives, but the history would suggest it's going to be a pretty tough mountain, and it's not getting any easier.
History is exactly the key here. The Winnipeg Jets have missed the playoffs 7 consecutive seasons. So until they buck that trend, the natural and instinctive conclusion to this is that they won't make the playoffs. They have to prove everybody wrong. That's the next question. What do they have to do to prove everybody wrong? And I think that Paul Maurice has, he hit the nail on the head when he arrived here last year, when he left for the offseason, and when he got here to start this season. They have to improve their goals against. And this has to be, a team effort. He has talked about this throughout the preseason, what they're trying to do system-wise, structurally, et cetera, et cetera. It does not all fall on Andre Pavlik. However, a great deal of it will fall on Pavlik. And, I think that their last preseason game against Calgary, and I don't know how much you can take from this, but if that was the template that they were going to use going forward, if they were going to play that well defensively, he faced 18 shots, they'll have a much better opportunity to win games every night. Mind you, it was the Calgary Flames, who are among the worst teams in the National Hockey League, so that will be difficult to do on a night-in and night basis. But I do believe Maurice has the template. The question for me is, does he have the players that will enable him to execute that template?
Well, it's a good question, and I think they've gone about this the right way. Not that I'm the authority on it, but they've addressed some of the most fundamental things for their team. You got to start getting those things right, the basic things right, before you can move on to the more complicated systems and schemes. And one you mentioned is defense and goals against, and the other is fitness. They've really tried to emphasize that, knowing that it could take 2 years or 3 years to have everyone on the right page that way, but they've made a start to it. And now, will they play like they need to play? I think you're very wise to point out about Saturday night's exhibition game. That is the template, I believe. You want to be as stingy as you can. You want to help your goalie as much as you can by giving him as little to do as possible. The caution flag for me there is we've got to really be careful not to make snap judgments. Let's not pick even 2 or 3 games and say they're on the road. I think you need to look at this probably in chunks of 10 or 20 games. The Jets in the past, to me, have been able to do these things over short periods of time. And they've even been able to do them against good teams, and then they'll turn around the next week and be very mediocre or poor against very poor and mediocre teams, and that is not the template to go higher in the standings. So bigger chunks of games, longer stretches of good, consistent defensive play, maybe not so caught up in the wins and losses early, and been more caught up in, are they playing the right way over longer stretches? Those, to me, are the important things to watch for here in the first half of the season.
Just so you don't think I'm that kind of guy, I did ask you if the Jets would make the playoffs, and you did give an answer, kind of. And then I didn't give an answer, and I will give an answer. I don't think they make the playoffs, although I won't be surprised if I'm proven wrong. I do think that there are some key elements here that could allow the Jets to get better. How much better, I think, is the big question. And now that's what we find out. We have the next 82 games to watch the Winnipeg Jets, and we'll be right here at winnipegfreepress.com once a week unless the snow prevents us from getting out here to do this. For Jets This Week, I'm Gary Lawless, and that's Tim Campbell. Thanks for watching.